You want to win this ball? It's free. All you got to do is subscribe to the Streetball Strategies YouTube page and visit the giveaway link down in the description.
In West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground is where I spent most of my days. Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool and all, shooting some b-ball outside of the school.
Why fat Will Smith should just go back to playing basketball. Welcome back to Streetball Strategies.
I'm gonna lose 20 pounds in 20 weeks.
So today's video was gonna be about how to not get crossed over. That was gonna be the topic of today's video, but last night I watched the YouTube docu-series Will Smith, Best Shape of My Life, and I found it to be sadly fascinating. I've always been a Will Smith fan, and I'm also a fitness guy, and the show is about him getting into shape, and you have to be in shape to be a good basketball player. So I thought today we would discuss Will Smith, the best shape of my life, and why I find it to be sadly fascinating. I will bring this around to how this has to do with basketball, but for now let's talk about why I think this is such a sad situation.
This began as a journey to get into the best shape of my life.
So Will Smith is about 52 years old, he's 6'2", and he's somewhere between 220 and 230 pounds. In January 1st of 2021, he decided he was going to try to get in the best shape of his life, which also included the goal of losing 20 pounds in 20 weeks, while at the same time writing his autobiography. As of this recording, only the first 2 episodes of his show have been released on YouTube, but we are shown that in the future, he eventually gives up on trying to get into the best shape of his life. He throws in the towel. We're not told why, we're not told what his breaking point is.
When I started this show,
About to get it.
I thought I was getting into the best shape of my life physically, but mentally, I was somewhere else.
I'm done.
And I ended up discovering a whole lot of hidden things about myself.
But just from watching the first 2 episodes, I think it's pretty clear why he gives up. So let's talk about what problems he's going through. So the first of the minor problems that he has to do with his training. So he has fallen into the mistake that most everyone makes when they are trying to get in shape or lose weight, whether it's for the first time or multiple times. They try to do too much too soon. They treat it as if it's just a switch that they're switching on. So they go from being completely out of shape, which Will Smith is, to now he's trying to, as hard as he can, to work as hard as he can to take off the weight. He's ego lifting. He's lifting too much weight, probably too much volume too soon. We see him training his chest and his shoulders and his biceps. We see him doing a little bit of like leg press, a little bit of squats. We see him trying to do hanging knee raises. We see him trying to do pull-ups to work his lats, but for the most part, he's not doing anything on the back side of his body. He's only working his show muscles. So he's not doing like lat pull downs. He's not doing any kind of rows. He's not doing any kind of deadlifts. At least we're not being shown that very much at all. So he's lifting way too heavy and he's only working out his show muscles. He's trying to lift too much too soon. And when you're doing that, you're only setting yourself up for failure because you're just going to become frustrated over time when your body isn't performing the way that you're asking it to perform. His second relatively minor problem is his nutrition. So going back to his training for just a second, on the surface we're shown what his training plan is, and it looks good on paper. It looks like it makes complete sense. The same thing with his nutrition. On paper, in idea, it seems like it's good, like it makes sense. And he has a trainer. The trainer says we're going to have Will be in a 500 calorie deficit every day, so he's gonna lose about 1 pound of fat every week. That's perfect. That's exactly what he should be doing. In fact, because he's 220 pounds, you should lose about 1% of your body fat per week. So in theory, Will Smith could lose 20 pounds in 10 weeks, but definitely he can do 20 pounds in 20 weeks. That should be easy, especially considering the fact that he has a trainer and a nutritionist and a therapist and probably a chef. When you have all of those advantages, losing 20 pounds should be easy, even for someone in their 50s. And so he gets nutritionists, and his nutritionist said, okay, well, we're gonna put him on mostly a plant-based proteins, so we're gonna balance his macros like this and this way. That's all fine, there's no problem with that, except for because of his training and him asking his body to do too much too soon. There's no diet plan on the planet that can fuel his body to do what he's asking it to do in the gym. Even if he was bulking, even if he was in a calorie surplus, eating an extra 2,000, 3,000 calories every day, his body wouldn't be able to do and perform in the gym the way he's asking it to do, because he's trying to do too much too soon. And we're not shown this, it's not told to us, he doesn't say it, but if you are familiar with dieting, getting into shape, losing weight, going through that process over and over again, you can tell just by looking at him, just by watching him, he doesn't like what he's eating. He doesn't like the foods. He's not gonna tell you that, he's not gonna say that, because he's trying to motivate you. So he's not gonna say, I'm eating all this quinoa and this kale and these, pre-workout shakes. They taste horrible, but I'm forcing myself to do it anyway. He's not gonna tell you that because he's trying to motivate you. But it's clear that he doesn't like any of the food that he's taking in. Do you know how maddening that is when every meal you eat, every snack you eat, everything you drink, you don't like? It doesn't taste good? Do you know how frustrating that is? But if he felt amazing, if his body was performing amazingly in the gym and he felt good, there would be a balance there. It would be like, I don't like the foods that I'm eating, but at least my body feels good and it's performing well in the gym, so I can tolerate it. But that's not happening. He feels terrible, he's depleted, he's exhausted, he's sore, and because of that, he's performing terribly in the gym. So it's like a triple layer of frustration. No wonder he eventually gives up on this journey, because he's miserable.
I don't want to do any of this. I'm finished with the best shape of my life.
It's not a bad shot for being in jeans and a jacket. I do say so myself. And those are just his minor problems. His biggest yet simplest problem is that he's doing all this wrong stuff for the wrong reasons. He's fallen into the mistake that most people fall into when they're trying to lose weight or get into shape, which is they like the idea of getting in shape, of being in shape, but when it comes to actually doing it, putting in the work to get there, it's too difficult, and then they give up. As simple as that is, it's his biggest problem. So how would I go about training Will Smith? Well, here's what I would do. First of all, you need to understand losing 20 pounds in 20 weeks does not equal you being in the best shape of your life. Number one. Number two, you don't have to get in the best shape of your life. You've already been in great shape before. You can, even in your 50s, you can get in the best shape of your life, but you don't need to. Third, it's not gonna take 5 months to get in the best shape of your life, especially in your 50s. Maybe you can do it in 9, but definitely not in 5. Fourthly, if you are trying to get in the best shape of your life and you're in your 50s, well, here's the deal. You need to lose the fat first. You need to lose that weight first, because losing that fat is going to make it easier for you to train harder in the gym. Losing the fat is the number one first priority. Because of that, nutrition is the number one first priority. So what do? You find foods that Will Smith likes, healthy versions, low calorie versions of those foods. You balance his macros however you want to balance them, and then he eats those foods all day, every day, while staying in that 500 calorie deficit. Second is his training, and because losing the fat is the priority, that makes cardio the first number one priority above everything else. So he does as much cardio as he can tolerate, but cardio that he prefers, that he likes doing. Just like how he eats the food that he likes, the foods that he wants, the foods that he looks forward to, the same thing goes with the cardio. start at least an hour in the morning, an hour at night. And then in between, in terms of lifting weights and resistance training, we start out super easy, super light. In the show, it's week 1, and we see him doing incline dumbbell presses, and he has 70-pound dumbbells in each hand doing incline presses. Now again, he's doing that because he's a A-list action star and he needs to be seen lifting big heavy weights, but that's not going to work for him in the long run. If that's me, I'm starting him out with like 15s. Yeah, 15s, maybe 20 at the most. We're going super light, super easy, because the whole thing, the whole idea is that when you're out of shape, you need to remind your body, teach your body what it feels like to move and push and pull against resistance, against that weight. And then as your body adapts to that, then you slowly, progressively overload and increase that weight. And as you do that, your body will then naturally up your intensity so that you can move that heavier weight. But what you don't do is you go from being out of shape to the next day going as hard as you possibly can in the gym. You're asking too much of your body. You're not going to perform the way you want to perform because it's going to be too difficult. You need to start light and easy, build your way up, progressively overload. But of course that doesn't make for good TV for the A-list action star, so he's ego lifting. Lifting way too much, way too soon, making it way too difficult on himself. That's how I would train Will Smith if it were my responsibility. But forget all that. Forget the complicated nutrition, and forget the complicated, complex training. Hey, Will Smith, remember 35, 40 years ago? Remember how you used to, what was the phrase? You used to spend most of your time out at the playground. Remember how you used to shoot some b-ball outside of the school? How about you do that again? Why not? Look, you love basketball, or you did. And if you did before, why wouldn't you now? Why, because you're 50? You can get back on the court. Look, here's the deal. I've said repeatedly, basketball players are the best athletes in the world, especially compared to team athletes. So you already love basketball. You've been good at it before. I'm sure you haven't played in a long time, but you can get back on the court even in your 50s. So what? You have to warm up thoroughly. So what? You have to tape up your knees and your ankles. But get back on the court. But again, you have to start slow. You have to start easy. I know what you want to do is get back out here and just start playing 5-on-5, full court, full speed. But if you do that, you're gonna hurt yourself. You're gonna injure yourself. So don't do that. Just take it easy, take it slow. Work on, getting your handle back on the ball, feeling the ball, getting a feel for the ball. Work on getting your handles, your dribble back. Work on getting your shot back. Do it easy, do it slow, have it be enjoyable. And then progressively overload when it comes to how much and the way you play basketball as well. And also, you're Will Smith. You have advantages that other people just don't. I know you know this, but why am I talking to Will Smith? But he's Will Smith. He has advantages that, and all of us would die to have, meaning he can play basketball with anyone. He can practice with anyone that he would want to. He could hire Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant's coach, Tim Grover, if he wanted to. He could play and practice with Kyrie Irving if he wanted to. It's not like Kyrie has anything else going on right now. He could practice and play with any person, any celebrity that he wanted to. You want to play basketball with Barack Obama? I'm sure you could call him up and get him on the court. Imagine how much of a great TV show that would make. Will Smith trains and plays basketball with the stars and celebrities. Not only would it give you a great workout, not only would it burn a ton of calories, not only would it build strong natural muscle, but if you played enough, if you worked your way, if you progressively overloaded to the point where you're playing hours of basketball every day, you would get to the point where it doesn't even really matter what your nutrition is. As long as you stay in that 500 calorie deficit, which you would do working off all those calories playing basketball, it wouldn't even really matter how you eat. And you would get into great shape doing something that you've already been good at before, you already have a true enjoyment for doing, so why not do it again? Why? Because you're in your 50s? Just get out here and start balling. See how I brought that back to basketball? It's a good idea, right? Because he could play, so why get back on the court? I think it's a great idea. I think Will Smith, if he got back on the basketball court on a regular basis and did it right, he could get in great shape. So everybody send Will Smith this video. He doesn't know he needs it, but he clearly does, and I can clearly help him. But if you're watching this and you're not Will Smith, everything I said can also apply to you, other than the part where you can play and practice with anybody you want. But you can do all the training and all the nutrition stuff that's completely available and doable by you as well. Like I said, I find it sadly fascinating, the issues he's going through in this show. But he clearly has good, positive intentions. He's just going about it all wrong. I'm hoping that at some point in the show, we'll hear him say, I gave up the getting in the best shape of my life part of this show because I was doing it wrong, I wasn't happy, and I was trying to go too fast and doing too much too soon. So thank you guys for watching. As always, if you liked this video, if you found it entertaining or informative or whatever, just hit that like button, just thumbs up. And make sure you subscribe. So it's November of 2021. During this month, I'm doing a giveaway to give away this basketball. So if you want to win this basketball, you have to subscribe to the channel and visit the giveaway link down in the description. Also hit that notification bell so you're notified of when all of my videos come out. And until the next one, I will see you guys next week.
I'm fresh, I'm flossy, I'm